What's going on, Nerd Army guys? Welcome to the newest episode of Exploring Comics. Guys, if you have not joined us in this series we break down your favorite heroes and villains and give you a deeper look at the character themselves. Today, guys, we will be focusing on one badass villain. We're going to be focusing on Doomsday. So, let's get right into the history of Doomsday. Doomsday would make his first appearance in Superman Man of Steel number 17 and his first full appearance in the following issue, number 18. Now, Doomsday is most known for his participation in killing the Man of Steel himself, killing Superman in the Death of Superman series. This series is also where he got his name, Doomsday. So Doomsday's body is extremely crazy. Just the way this guy is broken down is nuts. Okay, so Doomsday's body is genetically designed to be able to adapt to any way he dies. So essentially, if he's killed by heat vision from a superhuman being like Superman, basically he would heal and his body would adapt so that he could not be killed by heat vision again. He could not die in that same way. So essentially taking out like the Man of Steel and getting killed by him isn't a big deal because you're going to heal, you're going to come right back, and you're going to be immune to being killed by him again. Fuck. I know it's fucked up because he always regenerates, so dun dun dun. Like I said, his name actually was originated in this series, and the person who originated is awesome. It was Booster Gold. Booster Gold actually came and reported to Superman telling him that there is a creature rampaging down in the city, and it's like Doomsday down there. So essentially Doomsday, and the name kind of stuck. Now, originally, Doomsday was born in prehistoric Krypton over 250,000 years ago. So this dude ain't new. He's old. Original Doomsday was born a long-ass time ago. So Doomsday was created by a scientist named Dr. Burton. Dr. Burton created this creature to be able to survive anything. Just like I said, with that messed up power where he can adapt to everything and survive it, Doomsday was ultimately made to be able to survive any condition, the harshest, worst conditions you can possibly think of. Now, the way he created Doomsday, Dr. Burton actually released an infant child on the harsh surface of ancient Krypton. And when he released him, ultimately the baby couldn't survive because on the harshest wilds of Krypton, only the strongest survives. He releases the baby into the wilds. The baby ultimately dies from the harsh conditions of Krypton. He picks up the remains of the child, carries him back, and uses the remains to create an even stronger clone that can now adapt and survive on the harshness of Krypton. Beginning the cycle, like I said, 250,000 years ago. Crazy. Now, Burton would do these savage experiments, releasing a new clone, allowing them to die in different ways and adapt in different ways for decades, torturing this child, and every time he would die, he would actually store how he died in his DNA to adapt to not be able to die that way anymore. So, as you can imagine, this kid was tortured, being killed over and over and over and over for decades, and then ultimately perfection. This would also instill a great hatred for all life in the child that would continue on as he became Doomsday. So the child over time would eventually gain resistance to all the elements on Krypton, and with the help of Burton's extra tech that he gave the child, he was actually able to fend off predators and defeat predators in fights one-on-one. Ultimately, in the end, he was able to eradicate all life off Krypton. So all prehistoric predator life was all murdered by Doomsday. Crazy. But eventually he would grow to also hate Burton himself for doing this to him, and would eventually kill Burton himself. Well, he deserved it. He's a dick. Doomsday would eventually find himself on a planet called Caledon, and on this planet, he would lay waste to the entire planet for 3 years until only the capital city where the royal family were all held up still stood. Now, in doing this, the capital city and all the royals got together and combined themselves into one being of extreme and perfect light, and that would be named Radiant. And Radiant would go and take on Doomsday. So they would follow Caledonian rituals, and they would bury him the way that they would. So what they did is they put him in this completely sealed suit that's supposed to be unbreakable. They put him in this suit and they seal him so his soul cannot escape in the afterlife. So in his death, he would stay dead forever. So because of the horrific murders he had done on the planet, the royal family also would not allow him to be buried in the soil on the planet. So they put him in a casket and launched his bitch ass out into space. So eventually his casket would land on a planet, and that planet, yes, as you guessed, it happened to be Earth. He would land here and be stuck underground for many years. So eventually he was strong enough to get at least one hand free, and with one hand free, Doomsday would take down the entire Justice League one by one. He would drop all of them, and he was not going to stop until Superman would confront him. So Superman showed up, and this led us into the 1992 miniseries that everyone seems to have 20 copies of. That is The Death of Superman, where Superman would actually go toe-to-toe with Doomsday, both of them swinging blow for blow and eventually beating each other to death in front of the Daily Planet offices. But ultimately, guys, yes, they would beat each other to death, but, I mean, it is comics, and they would both regenerate and heal. Death of Superman, my ass. Doomsday is one badass character, and he has actually even taken on Darkseid himself in head-to-head combat after decimating all of Apocalypse. I mean, you guys got to think about how fucked up that is. I mean, you got to think that he took a full straight-on blast from an Omega beam and just kept coming like it was nothing, guys. This is one of the most powerful attacks in all of the DC universe. And this dude just took it like it was a bitch-ass shot. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And kept going. All right, guys, let me know what you guys thought about the history of Doomsday. Let me know if there is a storyline I didn't mention that you guys love. There are so many great storylines that have to do with this amazing villain, guys. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. And if you have any other characters you'd like to request, make sure to put them down there as well. And I'll get to them as soon as I can, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to our newest episode of Exploring Comics. And I will see you next time. All right, guys. Peace out.